1982, the Lord bestowed a great blessing on the Russian Church by revealing a miraculous myrrh-streaming Ivran icon of the Mother of God to a Chilean-born convert to Orthodoxy living in Montreal. He was neither a bishop nor a priest, but a simple monk who, because of his extreme humility, hid his monastic life from the world and posed as a layman. His name was Jose Munoz Cortes, and 30 years ago, he was chosen by the Mother of God to deliver a message to the faithful of the Russian Church abroad.
This gift was not given by God just so that we might have yet another holy icon in our church, but so that we might work to fulfill His commandments. One of the Lord's most important commandments or instructions was to strive toward unity.
For 15 years, Brother Jose traveled all over the world to the parishes of the Russian Church abroad and shared the miracle of the Mother of God in her holy icon, which abundantly poured forth myrrh. Tens of thousands of people flocked to this holy image during the 1980s and 90s, two tumultuous decades in the life of the Church abroad. With the collapse of the Soviet Union and the revival of Holy Russia, the hierarchs and faithful of Rokor faced many difficult decisions regarding reunification with the Mother Church.
Unfortunately, in the 1990s, we did not heed the Lord's call. We very likely failed to understand that the Lord was calling us to this. Of course, we understood that unity was a wonderful thing in theory, but for a variety of historical reasons, we did not want to sit down at the negotiating table with the hierarchy of the Moscow Patriarchate.
1997 was an especially difficult year in the Church abroad, because the Lord recalled this miracle and the icon disappeared after the brutal murder of her guardian on October 31st. Brother Jose was attacked in his hotel room in Athens, Greece, and was tortured to death by an assailant, who to this day has never been found. His holy remains were interred at Holy Trinity Monastery in Jordanville, New York. News of the martyrdom of Brother Jose traveled across the world very quickly, and almost immediately people started asking, why? Why did Brother Jose have to die? And why was the icon taken from us?
When he was martyred, that was just such a shock. It was a shock to the world and a shock to me personally. And everyone was, of course, wondering where the icon was, and we sort of despaired of that whole thing.
I have no right to dare claim that it was as a result of this that the Lord confiscated the icon from us, but I do think it was, ultimately, one of the reasons that the icon was hidden from us in 1997, and its guardian, Brother Jose Munoz Cortes, murdered.
A decade after the martyrdom of Brother Jose, the debate surrounding the icon's disappearance became much clearer, when an exact paper copy of the Montreal icon, made in Sofia, Russia, started to stream myrrh in Hawaii. The icon first began streaming myrrh in May 2007, around the time of the signing of the Act of Canonical Communion, and it was revealed several months later in October, around the time of the 10th anniversary of Brother Jose's martyric death. It seemed that this icon of unity had appeared once again, as the Church abroad stood at the threshold of unification, not only with the Moscow Patriarchate, but with all other canonical Orthodox jurisdictions.
It is my deep conviction that the fact that the icon began streaming myrrh specifically in 2007 shows that the Lord has blessed us, returning this great miracle to us. And I hope that we will prove ourselves worthy to preserve this miracle in the bosom of our Russian Church.
В свое время, почитая заочно брата Иосифа и имея в России капельку мира.
Years ago, admiring Brother Jose from abroad, and having in Russia a drop of myrrh from the Montreal icon, I, still a very young priest, felt a great surge of piety before this vanished holy image. And how great was my joy when suddenly I saw what looked like the same icon, not only covered in drops of myrrh, but streaming it abundantly, as a sign of the Mother of God's abundant compassion and motherly love for her children.
Щедрости Матери Божией и ее материнской любви к своим чадам.
And now that the icon has come back in yet another form, the Mother of God continues to bring peace and do miracles. Sometimes when you repent, God listens to you and consoles you, but this is really an extraordinary consolation.
Америка нуждается в духовном пробуждении.
America is in need of a spiritual awakening. and it seems that these two icons, the Hawaiian and Kursk root icons, are uniquely destined to unite all of the Orthodox jurisdictions, perhaps returning the Russian Church to the position she once held when she first appeared in this country, lacking any partitions or divisions.
Без каких бы то ни было перегородок и разделений.
As we celebrate the 5th anniversary of the reunification of the Russian Church, we also celebrate the 5th anniversary of the Hawaiian Mir streaming icon. The Eastern American Diocese had the great honor of hosting the icon for several weeks in October, during which many celebrations were held in its honor and in honor of the reunification. The celebration's culmination was a pilgrimage to Holy Trinity Monastery, to the gravesite of Brother Jose, where memorial services were held in honor of the 15th anniversary of his martyrdom. The first hierarch of the Russian Church abroad, His Eminence Metropolitan Hilarion, presided over the services and was joined by many pilgrims from across the diocese, but primarily from St. John the Baptist Cathedral in Washington, D.C. The parishioners in Washington have a special connection with and reverence for Brother Jose because of the passionate work that their rector, Archpriest Victor Potapov, and his family have been doing to preserve his legacy. They came for many different reasons, but all of them had one thing in common. Their hearts were open to the Mother of God, and they prayed for the martyred guardian of her icon.
About 50 people usually come from Washington annually to the grave, but this year 150 people came. People can feel something here, they strive toward it, and I think that this has caught the eye of our hierarchs.
To be able to pray at Brother Jose's gravesite for him and for the reunification of the church was a great blessing. So I felt like I needed to be make myself represented too at this historic event.
It is very important that we not grow accustomed to miracles, always thanking the Lord that we were given this icon, that we can all pray before it, remembering the unification of the Russian Church and the Church abroad. This mirror streaming icon truly shows us how significant this historical development is.
I'm sure that it was both a joy and a very large cross for Brother Joseph to bear, being the caretaker, and perhaps maybe that's something that we should also reflect on as well. The crosses that are given to us, and that we do need to bear them.
This humble Chilean man has had a tremendous impact on the reunification of the Russian Church, and his struggles are inspiring countless souls to seek unity not only with each other, but most importantly, with Christ. Looking toward the future, many questions still surround the martyrdom of Brother Jose, and perhaps the most obvious question we face is, will he be glorified? While many Orthodox in America still do not know about the life of this righteous man, some faithful in Russia are already venerating him as a saint. News of the appearance of a second Mir streaming Ivaron icon is only strengthening the people's desire to see the Church glorify Brother Jose, uniting him in our prayers to the choir of the saints.
As we know, Christ said that a prophet hath no honor in his own country. They glorified him in Russia long ago. Not officially in the church, of course, but in the Optina Hermitage there are akathis written to Brother Jose, a service to the Montreal icon. Icons are being written at people's request. Father Artemy Vladimirov has put out several films and pieces of literature. His Holiness Patriarch Alexei II gave his blessing to publish an akathis to the Montreal icon, in which, by the way, Brother Jose is commemorated in one of the Cantacia. In the Orthodox Church, glorification does not stem from the leadership, but from below. The people glorify, the people manifest the veneration. And when the hierarchy sees the veneration being offered to a particular righteous man taking hold among the people, then the glorification may very well take place. This year, we commemorate the 15th anniversary of Brother Jose's murder. It is my hope that, in 5 years' time, we will come to Jordanville not to serve panagias at Brother Jose's grave, but rather, standing at his relics, we will glorify him and serve in his memory.